how's it going? This is another Trader Confidential. Got Donnie here. We are going to talk about the Toronto Pro that happened this weekend. So,
Yep.
and these shows are getting better and better. What'd you think of the show? And I'll go over the lineup and stuff.
No, it was a pretty good show. And the thing about it, you're starting to get a little closer and closer to Olympia. So these you're gonna you more and more people are gonna be wanting to qualify, and so you start gonna get the camps are gonna be a little deeper.
Yeah.
So got a lot of people they got to make the cut. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and there's a lot of big names that have to requalify again this year. So,
yeah.
that's the thing. Well, I'm going to go over the results here.
Yep. Ian pulled it off.
Ian Valera pulled it off. Let's go over the picture first.
He was one of the favorites.
Yeah, he was going into it. He was going
Yeah,
into
he
it.
was he was ahead of it, going into it and stuff. So yeah.
What did you think? I don't have a picture of him in the Olympia, but do you remember his look in the Olympia? What do you think of that compared to now?
Well, something that was brought out, and I kind of saw it. It was something about Ian's chest right now.
Yeah, his fullness.
He had a little separation in his inner chest.
Yeah,
and they compared it to their look. And of course the quality of the photo was a lot better for the Olympia, but he didn't have it then.
Yeah,
and now he's got it. I don't know what's happened.
And they were saying that maybe that he wasn't as full as he was on stage. Although he came out better at finals this weekend though. I mean he looked
right. I think they said they both did.
Yeah.
But what was conveyed that this wasn't his best look. It was a look good enough for him to win, but it was not his best look. This isn't like, okay, best we've ever seen him and stuff. But then again, if he's competing for the Olympia this year, and that was good enough to get the win, then he's sitting in a pretty good.
Yeah.
To bring a better package.
He's still top 10 to me. I mean, regardless, he brought. His conditioning was his glutes were completely shredded. His conditioning, he was on point with everything. I thought he had a good mix of all three. Mustafa won it last year. Man, that guy is big, Mustafa. But he just he didn't have the he wasn't as complete as Ian was.
He Ian got him structurally. He's Mustafa's bigger than well, Ian's not a small person.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're just talking structure here. That's what he got him on. He got him on structure. He and he was neither one of them were the most conditions on stage. That went with what's his name? God took third.
Flanagan.
Flanagan. Yeah, Flanagan was definitely the best guy there. But it was Ian. It was good enough to get first, and Mustafa, he had enough conditioning to get second. So and there's some people going back and forth. Some people thought that Mustafa should have gotten it, and some people thought that Ian should have got it. It was in Canada, and Ian's the hometown boy, so that was good for him. But
yeah. I mean, but the sheer size comparison of Mustafa compared, just to this shot right here. I know the angle is it's at an angle in his benefit, but just the size of his legs compared to Ian's. The guy's massive.
But he's going through the same thing that a lot of other mass monsters have gone through and stuff. And the thing about it is, yes, you got those, but you something else. You have to bring something else, and that's what we're telling Ramy for years. Yeah, dude, you're the biggest dude there and stuff, and you got great structure. You got fairly decent structure. Now let's really bring in that conditioning and stuff. Yeah. If Mustafa had the and had, I think he could have won that.
Yeah, I think so too. He's a contender for sure. What do you think? What do you think would? Where does he go now? Because he's got to shrink that gut down a little bit. That's he's got to shrink so.
Rolly did it. Remember
Yeah.
Rolly's Olympia where I think he took third.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, his he was kind of expanding in the middle and stuff, and somehow he managed to get that waistline pretty small. You
Mhm.
know, Rolly was able to do it. Rolly's a mass, just as much of a mass monster as Mustafa is.
Yeah, he
You
trucked
know,
right out.
so but with Mustafa, the main thing right now is getting leaner and stuff. And if that means shedding a few more pounds, you know, swallow that ego and stuff, you know, and do what you need to do. Even if you come down like maybe 5 pounds lighter, maybe even 6 pounds lighter, he's
Mhm.
shorter than Ian is. So, you know, still gonna look just as big, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what he's got to do now. He's following in the line of most mass monsters. They got all guys and stuff, you know, and he brought a fairly decent amount of conditioning. But in order for him to really make a splash,
Mhm.
you know, he's got to up that conditioning. You like to say you just can't win on mass alone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you got to bring something else too. You got to have that mass on top with
Yeah.
something else. And with him, you and I both know it's not going to be structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's got to be conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah. Which Ian had enough to pull it off.
Right,
Fla-
and yeah, and like his condition wasn't he was good enough to get second. And the thing about it is because of his size, he beat someone that was in much better condition than he
yeah, that's
was.
true. That's true. Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he were off just a little on his conditioning, he'd be third.
Well, what do you think of Flanagan? I know we talked about him last week. You know, he definitely his upper body needs to catch up with his lower body. But what do you think? I mean, he's coming in on point when it comes to conditioning and everything. What could he do to?
I thought he looked great. As a matter of fact,
Yeah,
my eyes were a little bit more than anyone else. But the thing about it is just Ian and Mustafa they just outsized him.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and they had enough conditioning with that size to make a difference. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I know
so
Ian's back lat spread is nuts. he just full. He's got a crazy looking back
yeah,
lat spread.
he was clear that he was the best conditioned guy there. And the thing about it is this: I mean, when it comes down to something that you can control like that, you know, you got to give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah,
If you come in and you tapped out your conditioning and stuff, and it was the best done, and you only get like third or fourth or maybe even fifth or something like that, hey, you pat yourself on the back.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
He's good at that. I mean, you know, he coached C-Bum for a year or a couple, I think a couple Olympias, didn't he? The guy knows he knows how to diet very well.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
He's very
mm-hmm,
good at that. And
mm-hmm.
he's done a lot of shows. I think he's what is he? Is he in his 30s or something, right? 36 or something.
Yeah, I think so. But so my deal now is Bert, you know, the kid
Yeah,
that won the New York Pro.
yeah,
It, Ian Flanagan beat him in California, and Ian and Mustafa just literally that's outsized is what they did. And
yeah.
like I said, they had just enough conditioning. And Flanagan, he was a little larger than Burke. He was the bigger
He
of the
was.
two.
Yeah,
So now you got to say, what's the Burke camp? What are they thinking right now?
that's true.
You know,
True. Yeah,
I mean, yeah. And the thing about it is that you just can't win it on just structure. You know, you just can't win on just one thing. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
just can't win on what are they gonna do? I mean, how are they gonna approach that? Is they gonna try to size him up a little bit more? It's a little close for that right now if he's
well,
planning
I
on doing
mean,
it this year.
I don't know if you can really, because the last two shows, I don't know if you can really compare him to New York as much, because New York, I mean, there was two guys, that was it, you know. I mean, as far as comparison, you know, we've had the last top four in both that last week and this week, California and Toronto were all really good guys. So there was a
Mm-hmm.
difference in lineup,
It's
but
only going to get better.
it's only going to get better. But Tonio, he is. I think he is complete, 100% complete where he's at. He just has to get bigger everywhere, you know. And then he's a contender because I mean, he he looks awesome. I mean, he's a contender as is. I just think he needs more size. more size, and that's it. In the right, and everywhere. I wouldn't say that any body part on him is lacking anywhere. Would you?
No. That's not. But the thing about it is just like I said, his forte is his structure.
Yeah.
It's his structure and his balance. Okay. But he's got to bring something else with it.
Yeah.
Because the thing about is that Flanagan out conditioned him at California. Then Flanagan, he got third in this one, and he just got outsized, and those guys had just enough conditioning to pull it off and stuff.
Yeah.
So, so now you got to figure, okay, so what? And now I'm pretty sure they're looking at the results of this. We think how we're going to approach this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we got more to come. So, yeah, it was an interesting show. Wish I had more footage of it right now. I didn't actually pay-per-view the show, so the footage would probably be out more coming out this week, but it just happened today, so the results and everything. But it was a damn good show.
So, I mean, it was. I mean, it was a pretty good lineup.
Yeah. So what do we got next? We got Tampa next, right? Is Tampa coming?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's in a couple.
They're going to be picking up and stuff because but when's the Olympic year?
Olympia's in November, right? Yeah, I think it's in November.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But I mean, there's two ways you can do this. Like, and Antonio, he's sitting pretty right now because he's qualified. He got one of the earlier shows, and so now he can kind of relax and heal from that and stuff, and then start up, probably. I don't know. He may do it like maybe 10 weeks out, maybe 8 weeks out, or something like that. But the guys and gals that are going to qualify later, they're some of them probably just now getting into that prep mode and stuff, because more than likely they're probably going to be competing around October, September, somewhere around in there, and I think there's a cutoff date though. You gotta hit a show by a certain period of time. If you don't,
is that right?
Miss it. Yeah, something. Yeah, there's a cutoff time for competing and stuff. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But those folks are probably starting their prep at this point. So
yeah,
and so it kind of depends on how you run your race. Some competitors, they can compete back to back. You know what I mean? They can compete and kind of do another on the very next weekend. Not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Some people need a little bit of time, and so it just depends on how you run that race,
Yeah. And whether it's even smart to do another show right off the bat, or just save it for the big
but some people can do it though. That's I mean it literally works best for them.
Yeah.
I'm not in that kind of if I can get like maybe 4 weeks to kind of in that other phase, and try to do and then I'm ready to go again. So but not everybody's like that. They can go back to back.
Yeah, I mean Flanagan looked great again. I don't know that he looked better than he did. I wouldn't say he looked better.
I thought he looked about the I thought he looked about the same.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I mean, he was still phenomenal. I mean, the guy. This is what his fourth pro show, third pro show. So
this year.
I think
okay, so that's one thing that's kind of count for the conditioning.
I mean, one thing, I believe it's this year, but his first pro show, I don't know if it was this year or last year. I think it might have been last year. But he's only done, this is only his third actual pro show, so.
But so did he qualify for the Olympia at the New York, or do you have to win? If you don't win,
because Toronto, Ian
it wasn't like a top two.
I think it's winning the show qualifies you. I don't know if you get it.
So he okay.
Yeah.
I that kind of makes sense too. Okay.
Yeah.
So he has yet to qualify.
What's that?
Oh, that's right. He qualified California.
Yeah, yeah. Antonio got it
Okay,
from New York,
all
and
right.
then Ian's qualified now, so he don't have to mess around no more. But there's a lot of guys. I
I
mean,
mean,
Jack
if
has
yeah,
to be
Flag,
qualified.
if Flag, he qualified. I don't know why he did this show then.
I don't know. Maybe money. Maybe like you said, he was in he had the momentum. It's just the next
Okay,
weekend. That's a good
okay,
question. I mean, he pulled third, so he's still pulling some cash home. You know,
yeah,
I don't know how much.
okay,
I'm not sure
yeah.
what the
He's bringing some
payout is on
cash
that
home and
show.
stuff, but I figured, yeah, okay, you got that qualification. Let's go ahead and power down
Yeah,
and start for getting ready for that.
that's what I was saying. Is it smart to do another show once you got your qualification? Should you just concentrate on that bigger picture, or
Flex Wheeler and Lavroni and all back in the 90s, man. These like was a year,
really?
you know. Yeah, I mean, you would see them, competing at this.
Hmm.
Was another one of those guys. These guys were competing 4 or 5. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Milo Sar says. I remember one year, I think Milo did like something like some stuff like that. I mean, goodness gracious.
How
Now,
many?
about 7 or 8 shows.
Jeez.
Yeah, because they'd have a circuit.
Yeah. Huh. Wow.
Yeah, but you don't see that a lot anymore and stuff.
No,
So
you
yeah.
don't. No, and you got a lot of
Mm.
guys like they won't even do anything except the Olympia. That's it. That's it.
Well, I think those folks that call, yeah, I guess
Like
it has.
Lunsford,
I
for
don't.
example.
It's got anything to do with the payout or what. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because as I really wanted to see Lunsford at Arnold. I want to see more of Lunsford instead of just once a year. And I think the fans want to see that too. With some of these
But
guys.
that's the but that was a bodybuilder's claim to fame back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Is getting in these contests and getting in those magazines and stuff, and in those wins. I
Mhm.
mean, so that was the deal. That's like you didn't have a lot of social media and stuff back then and stuff. So
Yeah,
this is it.
and they're higher paid now. I mean, than they were then too. So it's not a money thing, is it? I mean,
I, I
what
don't I
is?
don't I don't know what I don't know what payout is though.
Yeah, I don't know what the payout is for
I
that
think
too.
I had my Diane. She Googled a while back what's the average salary of a professional bodybuilder.
Uh,
You know, I have to go and re-Google it and check it out myself. So
what was it then?
I can't recall. She told me, but I can't recall what it was.
Yeah. Because I mean stuff's pretty much the same, but better because we have social media than it was, for a bodybuilder back in the day. Because then you'd sell your DVDs and you go meet and greets and stuff like that. But now they still have all that except minus this
Yeah,
DVDs.
yeah. Back then, if you couldn't get a contract, I mean, you were gonna stay with your 9 to 5.
Yeah,
You,
yeah. You
you
weren't.
know. Remember now, Ronnie Coleman. I think for a couple of his Olympias, he
Yeah,
was
he was
still in
still
the
a
police
cop.
department.
Yeah, he was still a cop.
He
Yeah,
was still in the police department.
and I don't know if that was because of
Yeah,
money. I think it's just like
I think the winnings at that time was like maybe like 120,000, maybe something like that.
yeah. Huh.
To win the Olympia back then, it's like 120,000.
Yeah, was it on Cutler Cast or something like that? They're talking about Coleman. He walked around with a fanny pack all the time, and it was filled with cash in there because he was selling his DVDs everywhere he went.
Yeah.
He just had a grip of cash. And they all had fancy, nice cars, Rolls Royces and stuff, and just living large, and selling the DVDs and that, uh, with fanny packs. I guess there's
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, that's pretty cool. Well, I think that's all I want to touch on. Just a little bit about the Toronto. You got anything else to add?
that's about it right there, dude. We're good. Like I
All right.
say, it's going to start intensifying. The field's going to start getting a little deeper.
Yep.
All the people that are already qualified, or the people that placed high last year, you know, them having to qualify.
Mhm.
But as we get closer to the show, the field's going to get a little deeper and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to be touching on you next week. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Do an
so
update on
next
you.
week is be my last full week.
Yeah.
It's my last full week. And so my little medical emergency is it's still kind of it's still there,
Yeah.
so we'll talk about it once I'm all done and stuff,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we had last week and stuff, thought I was going to need surgery and did not need surgery, fortunately, but still there's what I'm dealing with and stuff, but we'll see.
Still doing your thing too.
I tell you, man, I hate when you're this close to game day and then you got to adjust your strategy a little bit because something physical has happened and it's
You have
changed your. I get it. I can't train heavy. I don't really have to. I'm still able to do cardio, but as far I'm just training for pumps now. And I'm not training to be recruiting and stuff but yeah, just training for pumps. And fortunate for me is this happened. I'm pretty much already there. You know what I mean? So
you don't really need to. You don't need the heavyweight now.
yeah,
Anyway.
I'm not too concerned. But it's a thing that I was top of things and I'm looking exactly the way I should be looking and stuff going into this. So yeah.
I'm excited to touch on that, man. Get some pictures too and stuff.
Yeah.
That's it for tonight, you guys. We'll see you next week. Have a good
all right, man.